slower rate, and they're also not going to be as
Harmful.
I'm sorry, what?
Harmful.
Yeah, not as harmful. And so they're just not as gung-ho for damage as, as these metastasized tumors. And one other thing that I forgot to mention is the actual process. When you have a normal cell, normal, healthy, non-cancerous cell. So here's my normal cell. The very moment at which it turns into a cancer cell is called transformation. So it's transforming from a normal healthy cell to a cancer cell. Like I said, usually that's due to some sort of mutation, either in one of these tumor suppressor genes that are there to repress tumors, or somewhere along the cell cycle. And so once that mutation occurs and your cell gets stuck in the cell cycle and starts becoming a cancer cell, that's transformation. Yeah?
You know how you said about the benign tumor?
Mhm.
Does that one have the same process? Like
Yeah, it still becomes, because technically a benign tumor it's a group of abnormal cells. They're still tumor cells, but like I said, they're not as active and they're more slowly dividing. And instead of getting, some people come in with like huge tumors. Well, these benign ones are always going to be kind of smaller, yeah.
So can they go to the blood vessels as
No,
well?
that's the definition of a benign tumor. Benign tumors are not going to metastasize.
Okay, so they just stay in place?
They stay in place, and like I said, they're still dividing and it's still cancer, but the benign tumors, you can just go in and surgically remove them. The problem with these malignant tumors is that if you go into surgery, you have to make sure that you get out every single cancer cell. Because if you leave one behind, it's just going to come back. So that's why cancer is so hard. That's why you have to use chemo and radiation and sometimes surgery too to make sure you kill every single type of tumor cell. Otherwise, you have the chance of it going, or you might go into remission for a little bit, but then if you leave a little bit behind, then you're just going to turn around and get cancer right again. So.
And the
It's
sorry.
okay.
The benign tumor, will that one can that one like disappear on its own, or?
They usually don't disappear on their own just because our immune system has a hard time dealing with cancer cells. So usually you just get them removed. So I remember, well, I don't remember, but when my mom was pregnant with my brother, she had a benign tumor like on her thigh, just like a little lump or something. She was like, oh, what's that? Went to the doctor. Oh, it's benign. Surgery, cut it out, done. You don't have to worry about it coming back. It's easier to deal with than malignant tumors.
So they can't disappear on its own?
It can't.
There's no way?
I'm not going to say there's no way, but more than likely it's not going to. Other questions?
Can you say again about the PICA?
About the P53? Yeah, so that's just an example. I mean, you don't necessarily need to know that, but there are multiple genes in your genome that are called tumor suppressor genes. So when they're turned on and everything's working, they're helping to suppress tumors. And one of the ways that they're helping to suppress tumors is by helping to regulate the cell cycle. And so if you get a mutation in one of these tumor suppressor genes, it's not going to be able to suppress tumors anymore. Because remember, if you have a mutation in the DNA, that means you're going to have a mutation in the RNA, which just means you're going to have a mutation in the protein, which means the protein's not going to work. So if the protein doesn't work, then it's not going to be able to suppress tumors. And so if you get a mutation, there's all sorts of tumor suppressor genes. This is just kind of the hot one that everyone talks about. Other questions? All right, I believe that's the last